Folks, I'm with MFL Royalty. Joe Horrigan, president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Executive director.
Executive
But that's
director.
okay. My boss would appreciate it. If this is going to go off well, all right, it's my fault. Okay.
As I was saying off camera, NFL Royalty. So, hey, so tell us what to look forward to at the Hall of Fame this year.
We have so much going on that it's almost, he says royalty. I told him the term came from royal, being called royalty. The thing you risk at that is being beheaded. Well, we are going to be beheaded for what we're doing because we have some really spectacular plans. We're in the midst of a $900 million investment into the property around the Hall of Fame called Johnson Controls Pro Football Hall of Fame Village. And this, the only way we can describe it, we've said it so many times that I feel like I've told everybody in the country this already, but it will be the Disney World of professional football.
Nice.
We'll be Canton, cradle to Canton. We're going to be talking about youth football, high school football, college football, the pros, and of course, the cream of the crop, the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinees. It's also going to be the permanent home for the Black College Football Hall of Fame as well as a part of that whole development.
Nice. How did that part come about?
Well, it's a long story,
news.
but it is great news because it's a part of the pro football story that we think has been undertold and needs to be told and preserved, and preservation is a big part of our business. But how it happened is Doug Williams and my longtime friend James Shack Harris, two Grambling quarterbacks, went to historically black colleges. And the story of the historically black colleges and professional football is one that was called in a book. It's called A Parallel Universe. Black college football and professional football both kicked off in 1892, but it really wasn't until the 1960s that black athletes from historically black colleges were invited into professional football. Now we celebrate when the integration happened with teams. We celebrate when segregation was broken with what we call the Forgotten Four of Kenny Washington, Woody Strode, Marion Motley, and Bill Willis. We celebrate it, but we forget to tell the story of why it existed and the fact that it did exist. So the Black College Hall of Fame was started by Doug and Shaq, and they were there to recognize all those tremendous contributors, coaches, and players that were from historically black colleges and universities who, one, may have been forgotten or certainly underappreciated, and then the story of how that all came about. And so when they were looking for a permanent home for the Black College Football Hall of Fame, they started a foundation about 9 years ago. They started looking for a permanent home. We started talking with them, saying, you can go to some small town, some small community that may have historical ties to the school or whatever, but is that sustainable? So we wanted to give them a home, a permanent home, where not only were we going to tell the story to audiences who might not ever otherwise learn about it, but into a sustainable environment.
Nice.
So that was the long and the short of it.
That's incredible. And is there a website where my viewers can find out more?
The Black College Football Hall of Fame has a website, and you
Okay.
can go there. And we also, we're updating on our website, ProFootball, HOF.com. But as we develop Johnson Controls Pro Football Hall of Fame Village, that's one component of huge things. We're putting in a hotel, we're putting in a retirement center for our Hall of Famers, 11 football fields for youth football. We want to be to youth football what Williamsport is to Little League Baseball. We're putting in an indoor Hall of Fame experience, which can only be described as an interactive theme park, all themed to professional football. It's, like I said, it's a $900 million project. And not to forget the great new stadium we have, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, where it's a multi-type of...
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yes, rest in peace. Great friend of the Hall of Fame. But he kicked off this whole thing for us by donating $10 million to get the stadium started. And then when he did that, he said, I'm throwing in, we didn't ask for this, he threw in another $1 million to help us create Legends Landing for the retirement village for any football player. So it was really from his heart. And our Hall of Famers responded so positively to that generous gift from him.
Incredible, incredible. Hey, folks, that guillotine thing, leave his head alone. Hey, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.